Since the release of Warzone, it's very obvious that there are many Easter eggs and secrets littered around the map. Telephones, computers, and even secret bunkers, just to name a few. But they haven't done anything since the release of the game. But with the latest update from the game which launched today, something new has been added which has thrown a spanner in the works. And in this video, we are going to do what we do best, break down and explain all the new Easter eggs added into Warzone and tell you all about the mystery of the red access card. So buckle up, my friends, this is going to be an interesting ride. Just before we deploy, 77% of you are not subscribed to the channel yet. Oof. I know I'd want to keep updated on these Easter egg finds, so if you are new and you haven't already, that big red button is waiting for you. Now, if you haven't been keeping up with Warzone Easter eggs here, then let me fill you in. Scattered around the Warzone map are 12 different bunkers, which all contain some secret loot chests, and more importantly, a door with a keypad, which if you go up to, it says hold square to enter key code. Now, at the moment, we obviously don't have those key codes. So for now, the bunkers have remained dormant, and I'm sure we'll find out what their purpose are for very soon. But on top of that, we also have a plethora of randomly scattered telephones and computers all around the Warzone map. Interacting with the computers asks you to enter a password, which you do and nothing happens. If you interact with a phone, you hear the dial tone for a split moment and then it just cuts off. Now, what is strange is on the map, we have 12 bunkers with 12 interactable keypads. But according to the Warzone game files from r/modern Warzone, they discovered that there are 24 keypads in total which are interactable on the map. So by that information, there are more in the map which we physically can't see and can't interact with yet. But on top of that, there is also 28 phones in total, 16 computers, and 6 radios you can interact with in Warzone. Now, currently, no one's found 28 phones, nor have they found 16 computers. None of the radios are interactable right now. So this total amount of items will at some point be interactable, but aren't right now. And the radios are not activated, but I believe they are also inside of each bunker. Now, currently in the game, the only response these devices are coded as are computer_deny, which is the same across the computers, the phones, and the radios. So everyone had pretty much given up on searching for Easter eggs in Warzone because it pretty much seemed like it was a dead end. But this recent update could have completely changed that, and we have a brand new item introduced which you can only find in legendary loot boxes, and this is called the red access card. You've probably heard of it by now. This can only be found in those legendary loot chests, and the chances of it being found are very, very rare. I've been playing for 4 hours and I've not found it, and I believe you only get it in co-op mode. Now, when it does drop out of a legendary crate, you can see it's just a little card, and to the top left, it categorizes the item as a health item, so you would assume that it's tied to health regeneration or something like that, but it currently serves no immediate purpose. Straight away, you're thinking the bunkers in the Warzone map. Every bunker has a keypad, and this could be the thing that would unlock the code. Well, unfortunately, it does not work on any of the bunker keypads. It's been tried and tested, and those keypads require a code. When you go up to them, it says enter code. So having an access card doesn't seem to make sense because that's not a code, obviously. So then you'd go and assume that maybe this access card would be used maybe in a computer or a laptop. That makes a lot more sense. But again, it doesn't work because those ask you to enter a password. So going over to the telephones that literally you can pick it up and hear what's on the other end, an access card plays no role in that. So it seems the Easter eggs we had from the launch of Warzone have no immediate tie to the red access card, at least of right now. But by God, do I believe that this is a teaser for an upcoming event, and I'm going to explain to you how and why. Now, my first theories about this is, since it is tied to a health item, this could be tied to something specific at the hospital, because of course that is the center of where health items would work. Perhaps there is some sort of secret area or door in the hospital which we need to use the red access card on in order to access. That would be a very cool thing. Now, at this point, you're probably zoning out of the video, but please pay attention as this is super important because we're about to talk about a very likely event to happen in Warzone in the near future. And kicking off Season 3, when you boot up Modern Warfare, you're greeted with a loading screen with the background now being the dam rather than what it was focused on before. Why is the dam being so focused on? Well, if it's not clear already, I think something very extreme is going to happen with the dam towards the end of the season going into season 4. The dam could very well explode, causing a lot of the lower ground areas which are under bridges to suddenly become submerged underwater. I think that'll be a really, really interesting dynamic to the map. And it was only a week or so ago that the narrative director Taylor Kurosaki spoke in an interview that they are looking to do Fortnite style events in Warzone. Now I know what you're thinking, yikes, Call of Duty trying to do Fortnite events, why would they ever do that? That sounds tragic. But there is no doubt Fortnite are the kings of live in-game events. The things they've managed to do have been technical masterpieces in video game history, and Call of Duty have absolutely every right to capitalize on that and have some amazing narrative drawn into the world through in-game events like that. And the dam could very much be one of them, but I have some other ideas. Over on the Modern Warzone subreddit, during the launch of Warzone, when people were trying to discover what all of the keypads, phones, and computers did, certain users found coding in the game that was to do with nukes in Battle Royale. There was a 10-minute warning, a nuclear signature detected, as well as a 5-minute warning. And there was also strings for needing to exfil due to an incoming nuke, stating someone armed a nuke, get to a helo to get the hell out of here before it blows. But what isn't clear about this is how much of that is just scrapped content which still remained in the game for some reason, or if that was content for a future event in Warzone that we won't see for a long time. But we aren't done there either, and this is something which I saw about a week or two after the release of Warzone but kind of shrugged it off. But the more I've played, the more I've noticed these very weird instances. And I know what you're going to think when I say this, but just listen to me here for a second. But I am like 50% confident that there are zombies music cues playing sometimes in Warzone. Here's an example where you hear the round changing music in Warzone when the circle's changing.
Gas is moving.
Like, surely I'm not the only one who's picked up on that. And not only that, but we also hear some very strange noises when you're near the dam area. Like, you can hear some screams and other generally unnerving sound effects which don't really sound like they belong in Warzone, because what on earth could be happening? That sort of supports the idea that something really is going to happen with the dam at some point that's going to become a big in-game event. But if you had control over what the in-game event would be in Warzone, what would you like to happen? Let me know down below in the comment section. I've seen some very creative suggestions, such as the stadium opening up, meteors or some other thing hitting downtown and destroying some of the high skyscraper buildings, so it forces more ground combat, which I think is a really cool idea. And we aren't too far away from the next Call of Duty game, and it's not completely far-fetched the teasers to pop up for that game within Modern Warfare. Part of me thinks that wouldn't happen because they're two completely different studios and two completely different games. We've got Black Ops and Modern Warfare. They aren't the same game at all. But we did see Infinite Warfare being teased within Black Ops 3 multiplayer, so it can definitely happen. And with the popularity of Warzone, they have a lot of potential eyes looking at this year's Call of Duty game if they wanted to do that. How amazing would it be if the bunkers opened and inside were actual zombies that flooded the Battle Royale map? That would be absolutely insane, because there's been rumors for the last year or two that zombies was supposedly in development for Modern Warfare and then got scrapped instead for Spec Ops and Warzone. And if that is true, which I have no idea if it is or not, I kind of can't see zombies working in Modern Warfare as its own mode. So if there was like a limited time event where zombies were infesting the Warzone map, I think that would actually be very, very cool. Infinity Ward do have that zombies background as they developed Infinite Warfare zombies, so by all means, if they had a Modern Warfare version, I think that would be so cool. But the only reason why I'm speculating that and others is because you do hear that Treyarch zombies round changing sound every time the circle starts to close. Why would they be using that sound effect over any other that they could have? But there we go, my friends. To keep yourself updated on the latest on the red access cards and any more Easter eggs, be sure to keep it locked here on the channel by subscribing and turning on the notification bell. well. If you were informed, drop a like rating right now, and on your screen you can find every Easter egg in Warzone so far. Click on that video and I'll be with you guys in the next few moments.